You ever see someone and just get a weird feeling? Something is just a little off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Well, today we're diving deep into one of the most famous and deeply unsettling afflictions in all of horror. We're talking about that very specific, that very strange Innsmouth Look. And it all starts here, in Innsmouth, Massachusetts. This isn't just a place on a map, it's a warning, a shunned seaport that outsiders are told to stay far, far away from. A town that feels like it's literally rotting from the inside out. All right, so H.P. Lovecraft's story basically drops us right into this isolated New England town. And right away, you get the sense that this place has been forgotten by time, but it has forgotten absolutely nothing about its own dark past. Imagine walking these streets. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched from behind those boarded-up windows. The air itself is thick, heavy with the smell of fish and rot, and any local you happen to see seems to just resent you for even being there. It's pure paranoia fuel. But see, this isn't just a town that's fallen on hard times. It is actively, deeply unsettling. You've got collapsing buildings everywhere, almost no one out on the streets, and the few people you do see, they're quiet, secretive, and they really don't want you there. And then there's that smell. That constant, overwhelming smell of the ocean is just everywhere. You have to wonder, what on earth happened here? As creepy as the town is, though, the real horror, that lies with its people. They are so much stranger. And this is where we need to talk about the Innsmouth Look. It's more than just them being unfriendly. There's this shared physical quality, a kind of disturbing family resemblance that seems to run through almost the entire population. And it is just profoundly wrong. And the description is so specific, it's almost clinical. We're talking narrow heads, flat noses, and these bulging, watery eyes that just don't seem to blink. Their skin is rough and patchy, their necks are all creased, and they walk with this weird, clumsy, shambling gait. This isn't just a few odd folks, it's practically a town-wide condition. And this is a quote from Zadok Allen. He's the town drunk, maybe one of the last truly human people left there, and he just perfectly captures the terror of living there. He knows that look isn't just a weird feature, it's the sign of monsters hiding in plain sight and in the dark basements all around him. So what causes it? Well, it's not a disease, and it's not a genetic disorder, not in the usual sense. The Innsmouth Look is the proof, the physical evidence of a terrible bargain, a pact that was made generations ago to save the town from financial ruin. And this is where we meet the other party in that bargain, the Deep Ones. Think of them as this ancient, intelligent race of fish humanoids living in a huge city, Nantle, just off the coast. They're basically immortal, they're powerful, and they're the source of both Innsmouth's curse and its one-time fortune. The whole downfall of the town started back in the 1830s. A sea captain, Obed Marsh, was desperate to save his failing town, so he made a deal with these Deep Ones. He even founded a cult, the esoteric order of Dagon, to manage the pact. But, not everyone was on board. There was a revolt in 1846, but it was brutally put down when the Deep Ones themselves just swarmed out of the ocean and took the town by force. After that, its fate was sealed. And the pact itself? It was pretty straightforward, in a completely horrifying way. The Deep Ones gave them all the fish they could handle and all this strange gold jewelry. In return, the people of Innsmouth had to give them human sacrifices, total loyalty, and a promise. The promise of mixing. And that mixing part, that's the real origin of the Innsmouth Look. It's the physical sign of the horrifying price they all agreed to pay. Yeah, you heard that right. To seal the bargain, the people of Innsmouth had to interbreed with the fish-like Deep Ones. This created generations of hybrid children who carried this terrifying legacy right there in their DNA. So here's how it works. A hybrid child is born, and they look totally human. But then, as they get older, maybe around middle age, the changes start. That's when the Innsmouth Look appears. From there, the transformation gets faster and faster, until eventually they aren't really human anymore. And they feel this unstoppable pull to just abandon the land and go join their ancestors in the sea. Forever. And what's the big prize for this monstrous transformation? A seriously twisted kind of immortality. To put it in perspective, one of the residents of the Deep One's city is said to be 80,000 years old. So you lose your humanity, but hey, you get to live forever under the ocean. So let's step back a second. Why does this idea, this look, have such a powerful grip on our imagination? It's because it taps into some really deep fears we have. Fears about our identity, our heritage, and what it even means to be human.
Well, there are two major ways people interpret this story. On the one hand, it's a perfect example of cosmic horror, this idea that humanity is just a tiny, insignificant speck, and that ancient alien forces could corrupt our very biology without even trying. But on the other hand, a lot of people connect the story to the author's own prejudices, seeing the physical change as a disturbing metaphor for a fear of mixed heritage and anything considered other.
And here's where the story delivers its final devastating twist. Our narrator, the guy who's been our guide through this whole nightmare, he discovers his own family tree goes right back to Captain Obed Marsh. The horror isn't something he's just looking at anymore. It's in his blood. He's got the taint too. You'd think that this discovery would just absolutely break him, but instead his terror starts to shift into this weird, euphoric acceptance. He decides he's not going to fight it. In fact, he plans to embrace his transformation, to go down into that black abyss and join his kin in their city of wonder and glory forever. Which leaves us with this final, unsettling question. If you found out that a monstrous truth like that was lurking in your own family history, a destiny that was literally written into your DNA, would you fight it? Would you see it as a curse? Or would you, like the narrator, eventually come to see it as a glorious, if absolutely terrifying inheritance?